Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Mr. Bogdan, am I correct with your name?
Bogdan,
Nice to meet you, Mr. Bogdan.
nice to meet you.
Okay, so give me a few moments. I'll just confirm with the Crypto Arena team to know if everything's all settled so we can start, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Wonderful. I'll be back in a sec. All right, Mr. Bogdan, we're all good to start, so let me ask you, are you ready?
Yes, I am. I
Wonderful.
haven't I haven't done too many AMAs, but I think I am.
Yeah, we'll rock this, Mr. Bogdan. So don't worry, okay? So, since we're already live, I think we can now welcome everyone to our AMA for today. So, hi everyone, and welcome to today's AMA with ADO Protocol, a project reimagining DeFi, CeFi, and real world utilities come together in one unified blockchain ecosystem. So, what began as ADO Network has now evolved into a full service protocol that goes beyond finance. So, with tools like Ado Swap, Ado Invest, Ado Travel, and a native Ado token powering it all, the Ado team is building a bridge between blockchain and real-world adoption, especially across finance and hospitality. So, guys, we'll be unpacking all of that for today. So, let's jump in and get to know what makes Ado Protocol a rising player in Web3. So, of course, let's welcome our lovely guest for today, Mr. Bogdan. Hi, Mr. Bogdan. Welcome to Crypto Arena. Please say hello
Hello,
to all
nice
of
to
our
meet you too.
audience and introduce yourself to the people listening to us.
Hello, nice to meet everyone, and happy to be here. So basically, our journey started from zero, like 3.5 years ago on BNB chain. As ADO network, of course, and we envision building something for travel. Before that, we were mainly investors in crypto. I think it was last cycle in 2020, 2021. And we were on the outside mainly as investors looking where to invest our money. It was mostly Binance projects and the likes. We weren't that much going into on chain. So basically, we started like 3.5 years ago, and the main idea was travel. And we said, okay, let's build a token. Let's start with that. But of course, when you start from zero, you have no experience. Things change. You're probably very likely to fail because we keep hearing for like 3 years that you have to fail once or twice until you can succeed the third time. We haven't yet, and I'm glad that we didn't. It was mostly probably because ambitions, not to fail. We did had offers to start over, to raise funds, to do it like people usually do it in crypto, but we kept going, and I'm kind of glad we did because the people that stuck with us really deserve what's coming next. In the meantime, we figured an ecosystem is much better than only doing one thing because all the plus value is gathered in the same token. So long term, you'll have much more to gain than from doing one thing with an ecosystem. Of course, the roadmap is different because things changed. Some things we've envisioned building like years from now are already here, and other things that we wanted to build first we haven't started yet. So probably it will that will also need an update to reflect the current plans.
Thank you very much, Sir Bogdan, for that amazing introduction. And I think now we're all ready and all set to get to know ADO protocol. So let us start with a basic introduction, of course, because as you know, Mr. Bogdan, we're live on the Binance Live channel, right? we have lots of listeners right now. So there may be people who may be the first time hearing about the project. So to start our Amy, very informative for everyone. Can you start by introducing what ADO protocol is all about? Like what inspired its rebrand from ADO network and what current problems are you solving within the DeFi, RWA, and CFI space?
Well, first on ADO network, we had some problems. We were doing like decentralized lottery. We were doing like referrals from our own swap. Basically, people can log in with Web3 wallet, share their link, and then if the buyer if someone else buys on their link, they get the instant commission through the blockchain. We had some powerful technology that was probably not well understood as well as we wanted at that time. And we started improvising basically when we saw the need of revenue. So the first thing we did was elastic liquidity. We did that on BNB chain. We did it decentralized, and it was basically the vehicle that kept us alive. What elastic liquidity means, it's basically all on-chain liquidity is paired, for example, with ADO BNB. It was at the time. So if BNB drops, you're dropping. If BNB grows, you're growing also. And we figure out it was the bear market, probably one of the hardest we've seen. And we figure out if we make two pairs, one with ADO BNB and one with ADO USDC, we can benefit of the drops. We just have to know when a drop is coming, and we can sell BNB high, buy back lower, and also give the entire community always the chance to buy or sell their tokens, because it's not our liquidity. So we just change pools. And I think we had like over 150 or 200% profit on all the money while we were on BNB chain. Then we had the problem with BUCD, which wasn't basically up to us. The contract was locked at the time, so we had to figure out something else until the contract expires. And that's how the ADO swap was born, because we were preparing for Ethereum. But that itself, it's a large subject and it needs its own question. And I think basically this is it. And we changed the name to a protocol because we envision having centralized services that bring revenue and decentralized services all in one. So it's more like a protocol than a network.
Thank you very much, Sir Bogdan, for that. I mean, that's a very strong foundation, realigning the brand to better reflect its multi industry vision. That makes a lot of sense, to be honest, especially when tackling both the traditional and decentralized finance. Thank you very much for that. Now, let's get into the architecture and explore the ADO ecosystem as a whole. So, Mr. Bogdan, can you walk us through the entire ADO protocol ecosystem? I mean, maybe you can tell us more about your products like ADO Swap, ADO Invest, ADO Travel, and many other more. And how do they all work together?
Well, the first part that they all bring together into the ecosystem by the fact that all revenue generated is going to reflect in a staking mechanism, and it's shared revenue with all our holders. For the moment, we only do, for example, buybacks, because there is a part of revenue for buybacks, because we need a higher push for the centralized exchanges. But there will come a time where a share of the revenue will be shared to the holders through staking. So, and I think that will be quite soon from the time we're speaking. Let's start the travel first. For travel, I think the best way you can combine real world assets, even to people are exploring let's say real estate or other things. I think the best way you could combine it would be through a loyalty service. For travel, for example, everybody gets a discount basically based on its purchase power. NFTs are not quite where they used to be last cycle, but basically that's what NFTs and blockchain is to me. NFT is a loyalty discount that can be transferred, can be sold, or can be rented to someone else. For example, in our vision, you can update your NFT either by purchasing upgrades with ADO or by traveling there. But you're only going to have like one vacation or two or three per year. You're not going to have like 20 or 30 unless it's travel in work interest. So in all this time, what you could do with your NFT is rent it to someone else. Let's say you get a maximum discount with us, and it's based by countries you're going. Let's say you get on let's say UAE, you get maximum discount with your NFT, but you're only traveling there like twice per year. Why not rent it to everybody else that it's going to Dubai but don't have an NFT? This way you're not forced to sell. You get revenue from it. Also, the ecosystem gets revenue from it. Uh, the thing with travel is that you need huge exposure. We already know Travala in this space is probably the biggest player. I'm not envisioning having travel live yet this year. Probably next year after we finish with the exchanges. Then we have another products in loans. This we were thinking first when we had this part. We were thinking of making it decentralized. It somehow came years earlier, and we have partners who are working there, of course. We have two partners, one for smaller loans like 6 to 7 digits, and one for bigger loans like 7 plus, even 8 9 digits. It depends on the collateral, and which is probably one of the biggest players in the space already, because they have like a huge amount of clients, and basically top 300 projects that go to them. Then, of course, we have the yield, and yield could be mentioned in two forms. The elastic liquidity we've built first as a product, it's now still working. It has about 80 to 90% return on every money invested in ADO from February, since we moved to Ethereum and got it back, until now. So basically, in 6 months, every dollar invested in us has brought a profit of 80 to 90 cents at the time we speak, because we haven't moved from Ethereum yet. Then another service we have, and it's for bigger investors. We could also hook them up on their own account to copy trade the trading desk we're working with. It's self-custody, as is their own account on the exchange. We set it up to copy trade the partners from the trading desk, and it brings like great returns. Returns in last year were like 86% on USDT and 92% on Bitcoin denominated accounts. Of course, it's profit share. It depends on the amount. The higher the amount, the lower is the commission we get, and the trading desk from the profit share, and the client gets more. It's very good, a lot of hedges, very good solution, very good deal, but it's mostly for larger clients. For smaller clients, there is always the option to invest in ADO. We're beating even Ethereum with 30 to 40% in just 6 months in terms of price. So instead of investing in Ethereum, I think it's a better deal to invest in ADO because of that elastic liquidity and the pairing. The last product, it's ADO Swap, and here it's like a very large discussion because it's something that hasn't been done before and isn't fully told. Basically, the market is not expecting what's coming because it took like a year. We haven't seen yet the solution nowhere. And it's crazy how in 7 years or 8 years since we have Uniswap, nobody fixed it. On ADO swap, people probably expect that it's going to work just for ADO. It's not. It's going to work for every token on Ethereum. And it has mainly like two extremely powerful tools to attract. It's 5 times cheaper to trade any token than it is on Uniswap. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to do anything. You just have to take the pool address, you put it into our website, and you start trading. So instead of paying a 0.25 fee on Uniswap, you pay a 0.05 to ADO. Of course, it's going to have a portion of the revenue to buy back ADO from the market. It's probably going to have another portion to for the stakers. Like I said, profit already is like 90%, 90 cents for every dollar. So we can afford staking a staking program right now. And we're considering at first to give the first bigger projects we partner with to give them also a revenue share, but it's not yet settled. We'll have to see it live and then decide, of course. Another powerful thing it does is that it's easy to block MEV. Not many people know, like 40 to 60 or 30 to 60% of all gas fee generated by Ethereum, all the fees generated, it's down to MEV bots. So basically, how these MEV bots work, they see a buy in mempool and they front run it. They come and buy larger before you and then sell after you, and they keep the difference there. So instead of, for example, if you do the $1,000 buy on any token, if a MEV comes, you're probably getting like 970 or 960. Depends also on your slippage, on your setting, on everything else, on the liquidity, on more. Now, MEV was fixed like in a very technical level, and few people know how to use it. It's fixed to custom RPCs. I think like 99% of the audience don't know what's that and how to set up one. It's also fixed for buy bots, for example, Banana Gun, Maestro. They have MEV protection, but the problem is that they have it at 1% fee. We believe DeFi, as it is at 1% fee, is not possible. Also, at Uniswap 0.25%, it's not possible. If we want DeFi to thrive, we have to be the centralized exchanges. Basically everything around Bitcoin and Web3 came with power as for the individual, and your coins should be stored by you, and your case should not be shared to anyone. So, in my opinion, I think centralized exchanges should be just the gateways from fiat to crypto, and probably back from crypto to fiat and nothing else. We're not there yet, and I think besides user interface and user experience, I think it's the fees that it's keeping this from happening. We take those swap, and I think it's like weeks from launching. Everybody will not have to worry about MEV bots. It's just a radio button. When you do the transaction, you click that, and the transaction goes private, and it can't be intercepted. And the fees are lower than Uniswap. Uniswap, for example, has 0.25 for every transaction. MetaMask, if you do a swap there, has 0.875. TradeBots have 1%. ADO swap has 0.05 on each transaction without needing any changes to current setup. So a new product doesn't have to tell us they want to use ADO Swap. They just have to share their link with their community, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Sir Bogdan, for that. Wow. Actually, it's a very immersive tour into the ecosystem. We have found out how you guys are really having and building a well connected ecosystem, right? And each product totally adds another layer of utility while staying tightly integrated with one another. I mean, that synergy between the tools and the real world products, right? That is especially interesting for us here within the ecosystem. So thank you, Mr. Bogdan, for that. But let's now talk about the core fuel of it all, which is the ADO token. So, Mr. Bogdan, can you enlighten us? What are the main use cases for the ADO token? How is it leveraged across, let's say, maybe governance, fees, staking, and utilities like ADO Invest and ADO Travel?
For now, it's just at this moment we speak, it's just a store of value like Bitcoin, but more powerful due to the fact that every dollar is bringing yearly profit, and that profit is going back in the same liquidity pool. That means it's going back to users in via the price of the token. Next probably comes staking, and it will be tiered system for staking, and also it's part of revenue share via that. With travel, it will also become an utility token because every travel discount to be able to rent your discounts upgrade all will work in ADO and nothing else, and probably will move it to a layer two instead of Ethereum due to gas fees because we're expecting a lot more transactions at that point. So gas fees are important. Uh, After that, of course, if we go to blockchain because we had a blockchain live when we started, we figure out that it's going to cost millions per year to keep it, and we neither had the user base or the backing to be able to have such an expenditure. We scraped it. We still have it in our local area network. Everything we do, we basically test on our own blockchain before going live. But it will probably be the last build of the ecosystem. We envision building everything. Once that is built, having either a layer one or probably a layer two, because it's mostly layer twos now and we're very tied to Ethereum, having a layer two and moving everything to generate more value there. Once the token is decentralized enough, we're probably going to have governance also.
Thank you very much, Sir Bogdan. I mean, it's great to see how the ADO token is doing real work, across each product, not just as a governance asset, but as a truly functional utility token. Thank you very much, Sir Bogdan, for sharing that. But of course, let us go deeper about the ADO token by discussing the tokenomics that supports the ecosystem in the long run. So, Mr. Bogdan, can you break down the tokenomics for us? For example, the maximum supply, circulating supply, if there's any burns and allocations, and how are this designed to support the long-term sustainability of your ecosystem?
Yeah, happy to do that. So basically, at first, like I said, we started without experience, and it has like 1 billion total supply. We put like 400 million. It's about 40% of supply in the liquidity pool at a $5,000 market cap, and we made it available on the DEX on BNB chain. Then 200 million, about 20% of supply, was put in the referrals contract, which basically where you share link with someone and that person buys, you're getting something, you're getting a percentage, you're getting it from the affiliate contract. And then another 40% of supply, which was 10% for the team and 30% for the ecosystem, and was designed to be released like a period of 5 years in the long term to be able to sustain the tokenomics. Of course, we had to buy a lot of supply, we had to generate revenue, and right now I think the treasury has more than the user base. Out of the circulating supply, we've started at first. So at this market cap, we probably have more supply than the user base, and we'll continue these buybacks because it's what got us here. It's what made us stronger, and it will keep going. For the 200 million referral contract, we changed it when we moved to Ethereum as it wasn't feasible with the higher gas fees, and we're burning that entire supply. So it's about 200 million, about 30% of 20% of the supply that is going to be burned. I think we burned like 80 million so far. We're burning 10 millions per year. As a reference, none of the holders have reached 10 million, which is 1% of supply, and we're burning that like each month. So probably 12 months to go. And after we finish burning, we envision to shrink the supply from revenue to like 500 million. So that's about half of what we started. But it will be moved to revenue after we finish with this contract. And we basically each migration between contracts, we kept everything one-to-one, liquidity, user holdings, our holdings, everything one-to-one, and we moved to a new contract. And the supply that is locked is again locked for 5 years. They start releasing from next year for team. It's like 2% per year, because we have like 10% for team, and for ecosystem it releases monthly, and it's like 44% per year, no, 6% per year during the 5 years, and then divided by month, it's like 0.5 per month or something like that. That's about it for the tokenomics. We're not going to do any changes. There are not possible any changes so far. Like 80 millions have been burned, like 8% of the supply, and I think the market has around the same percentage, or probably like double of that at the maximum.
Thank you, Mr. Bogdan, for that. I mean, that's a very well thought out structure. The deflationary mechanics that you guys are implementing, the strategic allocations as well, they really help to drive both the scarcity and ecosystem stability. Thank you very much for that. Now, let us talk about ADO swap. I know we talked about it when we were like being toured inside the ecosystem, but let us try to have a focus on ADO swap. So, Mr. Bogdan, how does ADO swap function, especially with your affiliate system and MEV protection? And also, how do the referral commissions actually work on chain?
We've like I said before, we scrapped the referral because Ethereum is different in gas consumption than BNB chain. We would have loved to keep them. We would have to bet on where gas fee is in the future, but we're building user base. If someone wants to buy on Dex for $100 and he will have to pay like a $20 gas fee, it's not going to help anyone. So when we migrated to Ethereum, we've built the contract as low as possible in gas fees, without any interaction, without extra steps. So basically, whatever was down to referrals, it was scraped. But we're probably thinking in the future to share some of the fees. For example, you want to buy $1,000, let's say, of whatever token is on Ethereum. If you go on Uniswap, you will probably pay $25 more, $25 for the swap fee, and then the DEX fee. It depends from team to team on how they set up their liquidity pool. If you go on auto swap, it's 5 times cheaper. The DEX fee is the same because that's controlled by the team and how they set up their liquidity team pool. But the swap fee is 5 times cheaper. Then from that money, we're thinking a share goes to token holders, a share of that revenue goes to the team, and then another share. We're thinking if it's either projects we partnered with at first because it's going to bring us easy marketing, or if it's going to be user base. For example, you have spent, let's say, $10,000 in gas fee last month because you're probably buying more tokens, and you have spent like $10,000 in swap fees. You'll get back like, let's say, 2.5K out of it, which Uniswap is not giving and nobody else in the space is giving. Of course, we mention that it's cheaper to transact on AdoSwap than on Uniswap. People are finding hard to understand this. It's already provable with our own token because our liquidity is also in Uniswap. And if you go and trade on Uniswap, you will see that it's more expensive than on our own swap. But right now, the swap is just available for ADO. In the next couple of weeks, it will come, or let's say next month, it will come for everybody else. We enjoy the attention, we enjoy the marketing before having it live. We want users to use it when it comes live. And of course, we want to receive feedback from that and improve it because this is just the start for it. We're expecting feedback, we're expecting improvements. We see some future developments of it with easy integration to websites, for example, fiat on ramps on it. But it's not yet the moment to start as complicated. We want something simple to work better than Uniswap and have your transaction MEV protected if it's the case. That's the user's choice. If you want MEV protection or don't want, it's just a button to click.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Bogdan. I mean, that's a very smart touch, right? And we totally understand now how it functions. Thank you so much. That was very informative. Now,
I, I could add here that
yeah,
it's something we're really proud of. We did share it because we keep contacts with BNB chain and former business developers we had there. We did share it with them. They were ecstatic. They were asking us when we are going to build for them. But right now we're on Ethereum. We're not focusing yet on BNB chain. We have it in mind. It's probably going to come for more chains, but first let's do it on Ethereum. And also we have good people in the business development area here, and we're talking about some joint announcement. That's all I could say at this point.
thank you for that add up, Mr. Bogdan. That's very lovely, President. I think that really clarifies things with everyone. Now, moving ahead to another question, let's talk about the ADO Invest. I think this is a very a standout feature inside the ecosystem. So, basically, Mr. Bogdan, my question for you is we've read that the ADO Invest reportedly offers up to 20% APY and institutional loans with 2.25% AIR. So, can you maybe share more about how the services operate and who can actually use them?
Yeah, for example, right now I think the best investment and return on investment it's ADO if you're not an institutional player or a whale exceeding like $500,000 or more. If you are, then of course you have to invest a portion in ADO to be able to benefit it, and then we can onboard you on an institutional account and set up the copy trade. As I said in the first presentation, Last year, returns were 86% on USDT, 92% on Bitcoin, because you can also trade on Bitcoin denominated accounts, on USDT denominated accounts, probably Ethereum also denominated accounts. Returns are quite good. Monthly profit share, we have no control on that account. It's self-custody. So basically, if you don't pay us our share of profit share, we're going to plug it off from copy trading. Losses, because there probably are like 1 or 2 months per year, but gains exceed losses. But losses are always followed. For example, if it's 10% in the red, it gets brought back to zero, you pay nothing, and then after that, we continue with profit share. Or if you are 40% in profit and then it goes back to 30 and you already paid us the fee for last profit, we have to get it back to 40 and then we continue with profit share. You
Thank you,
have full
Mr.
control
Yes.
there.
Go ahead.
You have full control and you can see 24/7 whatever we do. So basically, if you want to stop, it can be done right away.
That is wonderful to hear. Thank you, Mr. Bogdan. I think that really clears things out. And, I think this really makes Ado Invest a versatile tool, right, for multiple user types. So, thank you so much for that. That's a very good explanation, to be honest. Now, let us explore into the lifestyle angle, about Ado travel, NFT staking, and many other things. So, I think this is like somewhat the fun part. Okay, so Mr. Bogdan, can you tell us more about the Ado travel, Ado NFTs, and Ado Earn as well? And also how the users benefit from the staking travel related NFTs and the using of the travel discounts.
So basically, there are 10,000 NFTs. We don't have to limit the travel clients to 10,000 because that would be really, really stupid. So there are 10,000 NFTs. We don't want more than 10,000 collection, but to be able to serve more clients, people that have and own the NFTs, they have to rent it to someone else. So basically, they are renting their travel discount. It's kind of gamified. You upgrade, discounts are given per country. You upgrade your country either by traveling there with us or by paying a fee, which is in ADO. And once you upgrade it, you can have it on ADO Earn, and people can come and pay a fee to book it, but pay less for that vacation or for the hotel uh, than they would pay without having the NFT and without renting the NFT. Problem with building this is marketing and user base. We're now focused on exchanges. We want to get listed on all exchanges to finish the steps, and then it's probably time to bring that live because you can't really advertise if you haven't minted out all the NFTs. So we some people will have a country, others people will have another country. You don't know the rate they will go with upgrading their NFTs. They are on tires, so you need basically a big community, a big audience, and you need these steps with exchanges and everything else built before you go to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Bogdan. I mean, bridging the real world travel into DeFi is a major move, right? And even with the NFTs, discounts, I believe it adds a gamified and engaging layer, right, for everyone. Once again, like I mentioned, the fun part of it. So, yeah, it's a unique value proposition, especially for frequent travelers, for those who are really into lifestyle, entertainment, and such. So, thank you for that, Mr. Bogdan. Now, let's talk as well about the Ado wallet. Okay, so Mr. Bogdan, how does the Ada wallet integrate within the whole ecosystem that you guys have built? And also what networks are supported? As I believe we're very clear on that. Networks that you guys are supporting, and how does it connect with your DeFi, the swap, and the travel products?
Well, wallet is not yet in plans, but when we build the travel part and the ADO earn with the NFTs, with everything else, it will probably be needed within our own app because for users to be handy and to be able to do all these operations in one place, you'll probably have to build your own wallet for that. Of course, with the build of the wallet, as it's needed for us, we'll probably envision bringing other blockchains, other features. For example, we already have cheaper swap fees than everybody else. I don't see why we couldn't bring that into a wallet. Again, MetaMask has 0.875 fee for swapping. So if we build a wallet, we're not going to leave it without swap functions, and we're not going to not bring this infrastructure to it.
Thank you, Mr. Bogdan. And I think that is something very exciting for us to hear. I mean, having that seamless integration maybe into the future, it would really elevate, the user experience. So thank you so much for that, Sir Bogdan. Now, moving forward to another interesting question, okay? Let's talk about, integrations, partnerships, because we know these are very important components of every project. So, Mr. Bogdan, are there any strategic partnerships or integrations, collaborations, maybe within travel, hospitality, CFI, or platforms that will truly help to expand ADOS ecosystem and the user reach further?
There will be a lot. Like we had like four partnerships in the work until we were planning to build to bring the swap live. One was announced. It's a partner on Solana, which was already announced. Next is coming one on Ethereum. We're working on other tools. We expect once the swap is live to have like 1 2 partnerships per week because it's easier to push it to their clients. Once we do a partnership, these guys are already trading on Ethereum, they have volumes there, it makes it cheaper for their user base, more revenue, more money for them. It doesn't make any sense not to do it. So once it comes live, we're going to start really pushing for partnerships. At this moment, we're not pushing as much because the main focus is on exchanges. We have like 3 4 working groups with most of the tier 2 exchanges, with a few tier 3s, and this week we're starting to focus on tier 1s already. Like I said, for us, the next step is building a huge user base, and we probably see ourselves listed on every major exchange within a year from now. It might be faster. We do have the connections to all of them due to our other products from the loans, from the trading desk. We have the connections already to most of the exchanges. It depends on the user base. I can't go to a tier 1 exchange, a large one, and ask them, listen, list us. We have what I think right now we have around 1,000 users or thereabouts. So the bigger the user base gets, the larger the exchange will be where we list ADO next.
Thank you, Mr. Bogdan, for sharing that with us. I mean, those partnerships could definitely accelerate the expansion, that growth. And I believe having this, it would really make the project much more sustainable to thrive more, right? Enriching its vision. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, I just have one last question for you, Mr. Bogdan, for this Amy, to close out. Let us talk about what's coming next, okay, for ADO protocol. So, Mr. Bogdan, maybe you can share with us what is on your current roadmap beyond a test net? And also, when can users expect the mainnet launch, possibly the mobile app, NFT upgrades, or many other more change listings coming
I
up
think
soon?
I think the focus for this year would be ADO swap and improvements to it. We have to listen to users. They have to use it to know how to build a very good product. Once we think the swap has reached like not nearly its maximum, because we've seen problems with DEX. To me, Uniswap it's like the biggest inventor out there, and everybody else has just copied their work, or mostly copied their work. But I see ways where you can improve Uniswap. For example, it was built having in mind the bigger liquidity pools like Ethereum USDC, Ethereum USDT. It should be built towards startups, in my opinion. 90% or even more of the chain, it's startups that are struggling, that have no revenue, that have even the little revenue that they have, it gets eaten by mevbots. Instead of going to the teams, the mevbots come and get that revenue. You can't basically, for example, with concentrated liquidity, the team can put like, let's say, $100,000 on liquidity on full range, and someone comes, buys $1,000, puts a tight range, and they get all the revenue. That's not going to work long term. It's not a solution, because if projects have money, they will develop rent long term. If they have money and revenue, that's the biggest issue in this space. If they have money, they have revenue, they will develop long term. If they don't, there is dying. If they're able to adapt to get revenue, sure, they will survive. But if they won't, they will die. There is no other way around this. So probably if the swap gets big enough in terms of user base, the next thing that will be coming will be a decentralized exchange. We have one on testnet. We had one. Users tried it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I think 2 years ago it was. If the user base of the swap is big enough, after we make the improvements with fiat on ramp and everything, and the easy integration to websites like widget, a DEX will come and will make it our own way for projects to have most of the trading revenue from there. They can decide if their DEX tax is 1% or 0.1%. That's their business. But most of that should go to projects alone, or should go back to projects. After DEX, probably we'll be talking about the travel. I think the DEX is easier because we have already built it. We know how it works. We know what needs to change there. That's only conditioned on user base. Travel is also kind of easy. We have travel company. It's the reason we are into crypto and we started. Uh, but all these builds depend on user base and how many holders we are, what reach we have, and then we can start building it, competing with the other guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bogdan. And actually, that's something very interesting and very exciting for us to hear, knowing that there's actually a lot that is coming for the Edo community. Lots of things for us to look forward to. So, thank you for sharing all of those with us. And
I
those are
think the
all,
main,
yes.
yes, sorry for interrupting.
No,
I
it's okay.
think we have to give a lot of credit here to Binance and BNB chain, because we came clueless. And the only reason we were able to learn was looking at what they do and how they build this empire of theirs with BNB chain, Binance, all put together, all working. And that's how we envision ADOLs in the long run. Long way to go. I know it's like the destination, but that's what inspired us mostly. Even the swap itself was due to something that happened on BNB chain. Our contracts were locked. We couldn't do anything, and it got us like a lot stronger when we moved to Ethereum, and we had new products there basically due to what happened.
Thank you, Mr. Bogdan, for that. And once again, that's very delighting for us to hear. It's really amazing to know that you guys have lots of things that are it's been made possible by the BNB Smart Chain, right? So a big shout out to them as well. We're on the Binance
Yeah,
side. Yes, thank you very much, Sir Bogdan, for that. And one thing, like I mentioned, those are all the questions that I've got you for today's Amy. Thank you for all the enlightening answers, all the insights you shared with us. We truly appreciate it. But before we officially close, Mr. Bogdan, is there any closing remarks that you can maybe leave with the audience listening to us right now?
Yeah, basically right now we're running an EO on P2P. We're running another decentralized fundraise. Probably one more launchpad to come. I really encourage you guys to come and participate. These are done mostly towards gathering users, not for the funding itself, because clearly, after everything we've said right now, we're capable of making profits. We don't want to move forward with the VCs. We want Rome is not built with the Senate; is built with the people. If you want a comparison there, we'll want users as many as possible to make noise, to participate, to be on Twitter, to be on Telegram daily. You've got discounts to join the family right now. We're moving along whether they come or they not. But I would rather have users for this journey than venture capital. Everybody else has venture capital. I would rather have as many users as possible.
Thank you very much, Sir Bogdan, for sharing that. And that wraps up our Amy today with ADO Protocol, a platform that is not just building for crypto, but actually connecting DeFi with real world use cases. So, thank you very much, Sir Bogdan, for answering all of our questions for today. Actually, we appreciate all of it. We've been enlightened now. And I think this is a cue or a reminder to the people to check out what ADO Protocol is actually building. So, guys, for a final call, I recommend you to come check out the social media links of ADO Protocol. Everything is posted on the Telegram community of Crypto Arena, so do check it out in there, okay? Make sure if you have any questions or if you have any concerns, you can connect with the team and their active community on their Telegram community. Also, to know what's happening, to be updated, you can go over to their official X account. Follow it, guys, to keep posted on the latest news, fresh news coming up ahead. And of course, do your own research as well. They have their official white paper website already, so do check it out, guys, for your own convenience and for more information about ADO protocol. So, once again, big thanks to you, Mr. Bogdan, for joining us.
Can
Yes,
I mention something at the end here?
sure, sure.
Keep an eye on our Twitter this week. Just keep on eye. I won't say what it is about, but just keep an eye on our Twitter this week. Something that will blow your mind off will come. I'm not sure if it's 2 days, 3 days, but something that you wouldn't think it's possible would come, and I will announce it on Twitter this week.
Oh, thank you for that, Alpha, Mr. Bogdan. So, to the people listening, I hope that got everybody excited. So, I recommend you guys to follow ADO Protocol now on X. Keep updated. Maybe you can turn on the notification bell as well so we can be at the forefront, right, of the news that will be announced. Actually, it's a surprise. So keep an eye on their X account. Thank you very much, Mr. Bogdan, and thank you to everyone who tuned in as well. We appreciate your great support, your amazing energy tuning in with us for today. Once again, guys, be sure to follow ADO's official channels and stay ready for what's coming next. You won't want to miss, okay, on this amazing update coming up soon in a few days. So check it out and we'll meet you there on your Telegram community. Thank you, Mr. Bogdan.
Thank you. It was nice to be here, and everyone have a nice evening, a nice day, and it was lovely to be here with you guys. Have a great day.
You too, Mr. Bogdan. Bye bye for now. All the best for ADO Protocol. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.